Morning YouTube, Dave here, back out in Dartmoor. In a different area of Dartmoor today though. I've come over to the area near Princetown, parked up at the Four Winds car park, just up there where those trees are. I'm heading up there to Kings Tor. Going to do a bit of a loop walk today. There's a disused railway track that they used to use when they were quarrying that goes around Kings Tor. So I'm going to head round that, taking a few tours along the way. Kings Tor, Swell Tor, end up at Foggintor Quarry, and a couple of the smaller tours that are kind of nearby to that track as well. But first, I'm going to head up here to a stone row that I've never seen before. Would you like to join me? Of course you would. Come on. Well, here it is, stone row. It's a very impressive one. A lot of the stone rows on Dartmoor, you can barely tell that they're a stone row, and you think you need a trained eye just to spot them. There's a lot of archaeologists that spend a lot of time up on Dartmoor, and that's how they've kind of identified them. But this is very, very clear. And it's actually a double one, because you've got one running along there as well. It's almost like a landing strip down the middle. Like a runway for the alien overlords. Look at this view behind us now. All the way down the valley. That's heading up towards the Northmoor. Up on the hill there, you've got to believe that's Middle Staple Tor. Oh, hope that's not been ruining the shot. You've got Middle Staple Tor right up the top there. Great Staple Tor and Ruse Tor hidden in the mist at the moment. And then over here, I'm not sure which Tor that is. It's one that I've not been to before, but hidden behind it, up in the clouds, is Little Miz and Great Miz Tor. So they're up there somewhere. This is where we're heading next, Kings Tor. Like I say, there's a little track, you might be able to see it, that just runs around the outside of it. So we're going to follow that around, and hopefully taking a few of the smaller tours along the way. Let's get cracking though, because it's getting a bit later in the day. I'm hoping this cloud's going to burn off. We're going to have some nice blue skies. But we're also in a busier area of the moor here. See, there's roads nearby, houses, that sort of thing. More cars around, more people around. I think it's not as desolate as the Northmoor that we've been out on before. I've come to a river, and if you watch the first video on my channel, you'll know that rivers aren't always my friend. Let's hope I can find a way across this one. It's wider than it looks on camera, I promise you. Head up along here, see if I can find a way to cross. A decision made, I'm going to step across to that rock and then jump across there. And hopefully I don't end up getting wet or losing all my camera gear. I've made it across. I didn't film the jump, but it was athletic, trust me. It was like an action movie, like Tom Cruise. I do all my own stunts. But we're on the right side of the river now, and we're heading up to Kings Tor, just up there. First up of the day is always a hard one. even if it's only a relatively small up. Here we are though, on the track. It's glistening in the sunlight, all the dew on the grass. And it heads up around Kings Tor, up that way. You can see where we've come from, those trees just over there. That's where the car park is. We dropped down and then climbed up this hill. It's steeper than it looks on the camera, but it's not massively steep. It's always hard, your first up of the day, getting yourself into gear for the rest of the hike. But still, onwards and upwards. We'll come back to the track later. By the power of editing, we're here on top of Kings Tor. That's what I've just climbed up. That's why I'm out of breath. Again, steeper than it looks on the camera, I promise you. I'm not quite at the very top yet, just got to go up there. So I thought I'd bring you along for this last part. You watch me struggle up the last 30 feet or so of ascent. I've never been here before. It's a really nice tour. You got lots of rock formations, beautiful views. I love Dartmoor when it's like this, when there's kind of cloud with patches of sunshine. That's what we're going up. There's probably an easy way, but I might as well just go straight up here. Oh. I'm using a makeshift kind of microphone cover for the GoPro today, so you'll be able to let me know if it improves the wind noise, because the wind noise for the first couple of videos was pretty terrible. So I just cut some foam out and put it all the way around the GoPro, see if that works. Because the wind's picking up now, we're on top of the Tor. Oh, but we are on top of the Tor. Take a look at these views. Oh. That's where we've come from. And we can actually see everywhere that we're going from the top here. I don't think it's quite the highest point of the day. I think parts of Foggintor are the highest point we'll probably head up to. But we can certainly see the whole walk from up here. And isn't Dartmoor just beautiful when it's like this? It's a Saturday morning, there's no one about. There's a few people over near the car park, but no one up here. Whole place to myself. Glorious weather. Hope you can hear me, because it is a bit windy up here. Over there the clouds low. I mean, we're pretty much almost level with the top of the clouds, or the bottom of the clouds I should say, that are sweeping across over that way. Great Miz over there, completely shrouded in clouds. Great Staple Tor, completely shrouded. Ruse Tor just poking out behind it now. Middle Staple Tor just below the cloud line. But these views are stunning. I'm going to get the Sony Handycam out so you can have a better look. See if I can talk you through a few of the tours that we've got up here. So that's the Four Winds car park where we parked. Just shrouded in the clouds over there. That's Great Staple Tor on the left and Ruse Tor on the right. This is Middle Staple Tor, just touching the cloud layer. Over here, just in front of us, is Hucken Tor. Unfortunately, I won't be going there today. Won't be going there anytime soon either. That's on private land. Not allowed to go there, it's forbidden. Over there's Pew Tor. That's a beauty of a tour. I've been there once. It's like a amphitheatre. This is Ingra Tor. It's not a very high tour, but it looks beautiful from here. And behind it to the left, that is Sharpie Tor on the right hand side, and I believe Leather Tor on the left hand side. And then That's Leiden Tor off to the left. Right, here's where we're going later on, Swell Tor. There's someone just on top of it actually, just making their way down from the summit. So we're not the only people out here. That's Foggintor Quarry. It used to be a tor just like all the others, but they cut the granite out of it. I believe, I've been told this before, I believe they cut the granite from there to build London Bridge. So there's an interesting fact for you. Who says I can't do facts on this channel? Now look down there. That is the first sighting on this channel of the famous Dartmoor ponies. You see it? There's another one, look. And look, I don't know if the camera's going to be able to focus on it. Just poking above the clouds there. That's the very tippy top of the Princetown mast, which is up at North Hessery Tor. These views are stunning, they really are. And what's just as stunning is that this is, what, a 10-15 minute walk from the car park? I mean, yeah, it's a bit of a climb, but, oh, and you have to jump over a river. But other than that, like, it's really not far. It's nice weather. It's the first day of nice weather we've had in God knows how long, but it's been a long time. And there's just no one around. No one around at all. It's a Saturday as well. It's not like it's a weekday. I work Monday to Friday like most people, so I can only come up here on the weekends. But I can't believe that everyone isn't up here, to be honest. I mean, look at it. If you lived close by, why wouldn't you be up here? This place is a 4-hour drive from London. I used to live in Kent, which is the opposite side of London to Dartmoor, and it would only take me 4.5 hours to get here. I used to come up here for a weekend when I lived in Kent. Drive down either a Friday night after work or first thing on a Saturday morning, spend a weekend hiking, and then drive home again. And don't get me wrong, I'm glad that there's not more people here, because it would spoil this pristine landscape. But it is crazy when you think about it that more people don't come here. I mean, look at this place. And just listen to it. Listen to the silence. I'll shut up talking for a minute. Listen to the silence here. Nothing but bird noise and your own footsteps. It's incredible. I love Dartmoor, can you tell? Come on, let's go to the next tour. Back on the track now, heading round to the west side of Kings Tor, heading towards Little Kings Tor. There's always a little Tor, isn't there? There's always a Tor, little Tor. In every single one of my videos, apart from the Riverside Walk, there were no tours in that video. But then I wasn't planning on making it. In fact, I can see Little Kings Tor coming up already, so catch up with you in a second. Here we are, Little Kings Tor, with Hucken Tor in the background there. And the sun's out for me, which is lovely. Let's head back down. Head over to our next tour, which is just down there. If you're struggling to find Little Kings Tor, by the way, it's just down off of the railroad track. There's a little trail just there, you can just see it in the sun leading down, and it's next to this little wall here running around that field, that kind of enclosure. Got a few sheep there, and there's a stile over there where we're going next, because that's where our next tour is. You might have just been able to see it in the background, or you might not have. I can't see what you can see. See you in a second. This looks like parts of this have been newly replaced. Oh, don't mind me, sheep. I think they were all asleep, and now they're not. Sorry about that. Hello. Right, I'm heading down here, and there's another tour just on the edge of the woods here. How about this for a different tour? This is Hucken Tor. Only a little one, but it's tucked in the trees. As usual, we'll get up on top of it, bag it, and then we'll be moving on. I don't think we're going to get the views from this one somehow, although the views of the trees are going to be something a little bit different. Everything's covered in moss around here. Oh. Oh yeah, look at this. Hucken Tor bagged, all done. Let's head over to the next one. We've got to go back up now onto the railway track and start heading around Kings Tor and over towards Swell Tor. I'm not sure actually if this is Hucken Tor, because what I just called Hucken Tor is literally just in there in the trees, and this is just up the slope from it, and this looks like a tor to me, so this might actually be the top of Hucken Tor. So either way, I'm going to go and get on top of it just in case. Not like that. Come on. This one's a little bit more open. There's Hucken Tor off in the background, Pew Tor over there, and I think that's Hucken Tor, a little bit closer than Pew Tor, or it might be Feather Tor, not too sure from this distance. It's a beautiful area, it's just a lot more built up than the north side of Dartmoor. There's a lot more kind of human habitation around. There's walls, there's houses, there's roads, but it's a nice place to walk if you're not confident of just kind of striking out on your own across Dartmoor. This kind of area around here, you're a lot less isolated, but as I said, there's still almost no one around. You know, I saw that one person on top of Swell Tor earlier on in the walk, and that's it. I've not seen anyone else. Right, another climb now, back up to the disused railway track. Although I suppose it's not disused, is it? Because I'm using it today. I'm going to head round, follow it round over a little bridge that I can see here, and follow it all the way round to Swell Tor. Someone and his dog, look, right up on top of Kings Tor. Oh, and look now over there, that early morning low cloud has burnt off a little bit. Now the sun's out and we get our first look at Great Staple Tor and Ruse Tor in all their glory. And Great Miz has put in an appearance as well. Stunner of a Tor, absolutely monstrous. It's turned into a gorgeous day. I'm not going to say too much about that though, because it's Dartmoor, so we all know the weather can change like that. But look at this over here. Absolutely stunning. That's where we're heading next, right up to the top there. Swell Tor. This is the quarrying that they did, what's left over. And again, I think Swell Tor, they used some of the granite to build London Bridge as well, same as Foggintor, which we'll get to next. Yeah, I think I'll follow the trail along here a little bit further, and then it kind of cuts left, and I think there's going to be at some point a big old climb up onto Swell Tor, so that's going to be fun, isn't it? Get the old heart beating, get the lungs going. Looks like the remains of an enclosure or something. And there's a sheep that I guess have got out of it. It doesn't look like it's been used for a very long time. It's been very old. Walking underneath this quarry is pretty impressive. I don't know how long they were quarrying the stone from here, but it must have been quite a while. It's quite the operation to move this much stone, and this I guess would have been the remains of one of the buildings of that quarry. Look at this. I think this type of moss is called old man's beard, because it looks like an old man's beard. Does though, doesn't it? I'm walking up a trail that, as you can hear, is more like a river. But the Dartmoor ponies up in front of us. Funny little things, Dartmoor ponies. They only live here on Dartmoor, as the name suggests, I guess. But I don't really know why they're so small compared to regular horses. But they are. I mean, they're not tiny animals, but they are tiny for horses. Now this is a bit of a climb up here, but I've kind of circled around Swell Tor. It's just up there behind the camera, so head up this side of it, and I think there's a trail on the map anyway. There's a trail that leads to the left once I get up here, so hopefully it's there, because you never know with Dartmoor. There's the Princetown mast now, and the cloud's burnt off. You can't quite see the top of it, but you can see most of the way up. That's at the top of North Hessery Tor, which is one of the two tors, North and South Hessery, kind of border each side of Princetown. And one's to do in a future video, definitely. Not today. Oh, this is quite the hike up here. Just gets your muscles moving a little bit after a nice easy walk along the disused train tracks. Oh. And now look, the mast's gone again. So how quickly it's changing out here. These clouds blowing around. Oh, a little bit of respite. Tiny little bit of even trail here, and then it's going back up again, off around to the left there. Still gets the lungs working, doesn't it? Get the blood flowing. I'm nice and warm on this walk as well today. There's no well, there's not much wind, but I'm hoping the windshield means you won't be able to hear too much of it. I guess I'll see when I'm editing it, but it was a bit of a makeshift jobby. I basically got some black foam and cut a hole for the GoPro to slide into, and then cut a hole for the lens to poke out of, and a hole on the top for the button to turn it on and off. But hopefully it works. There doesn't seem to be a microphone cover or a microphone itself that you can buy for the GoPro without buying like a whole contraption that goes around the top of it. And when I'm not using the GoPro, when I'm not filming with it, I just put it in my pocket, so I don't want a massive piece of apparatus around it that I can't just slide into my trouser pocket when I'm not using it. Oh, the Swell Tor right up the top there coming into view. Gonna get up here, hopefully. In fact, I think I can see the trail leading up to it, so the map was right this time. It's not always on Dartmoor. Oh, but yeah, this is a bit of a climb when you're not used to it, and when you've still got long COVID, it kind of just eats away at your fitness. But I'm definitely improving, and I think I've been out on a walk every single weekend. I go out for a little walk after work, just around the town. Nothing worth filming, but it's slowly building up some fitness. You wouldn't think it listening to me walking up here, but it's worse because I'm talking while I'm walking, so I'm breathing heavier. But you can see why I love being out here. Look at that. It's stunning. Well, here we are, just about to come up to the summit of Swell Tor. I think the high point's just over the other side, but look at this. That's what it looks like when you quarry out a tor. That gap in the rocks there, I'm guessing that was how they were getting in and out, but it looks like a gateway. You can imagine like King Kong coming through there or something. It's beautiful up here today, and we get a good view now of Foggintor, where we're going next, just over there. There's a few more people around now, might be able to see them down on the trail. Just passed a couple on my way up here. It's a bit later in the day and we're a bit closer to Princetown and a bit closer to the roads, so people are starting to make their way up onto the moor now. But it's 10:30, so it's still not late. We've still got plenty of time for the rest of this walk, and by getting up early we've had sort of 2.5 hours of just having the moor to ourselves. There's Kings Tor, where we were earlier, just over there. Look at this. It's all pretty spectacular up here. Wow. King's Tor, where we were earlier. There's a great staple tor directly behind it. Rouge Tor off to the right. Off to the left, this little one is middle staple tor, and the one off to the left, the taller one here, Cox Tor. There's Great Miz in the sunshine now, and that's Little Miz on the way up to it, following the trail. It's Foggintor Quarries. We'll be going next. North Hessery Tor, the mast disappearing up into the clouds. A few people out now, making the most of the weather. It's 10:30, so time's getting on a bit. There's a few more down here. Everyone's awake now. South Hessery Tor, right on the horizon. Opposite side of Princetown to North Hessery. Tor shrouded in shadow there. Behind it, on the hill, Cramber Tor. just underneath Foggintor Quarry now. Just heading up to it. Look at that. Dartmoor never ceases to amaze me how stunning it is. It's beautiful up here, and we've only been walking for about 3 hours, but realistically it's like a 2-hour walk if you're not going back and forth filming bits. And we've seen so many different sites, the landscape changes so much. It's amazing. I mean, look at this down here, this quarry. Another group of people over the other side. It does make me wonder what the Tor looked like before they quarried it out. Wonder how big it was, what the rock formations were like. You can see how deep the granite is, because Dartmoor, the whole plateau of Dartmoor, is just one giant slab of granite. And apparently all of the Tors are connected. They're just the little bits of granite that poke out the top, at the top of some of the hills, but every single one of them is connected underneath, because the granite covers the whole of Dartmoor, and in fact I think the whole of kind of West Devon and out across Cornwall as well, out towards like Bodmin Moor, which is amazing when you think about it, that every Tor is connected. And they do say that if you're touching one Tor, you can feel the energy of somebody else touching another Tor. They're just sheer cliff faces. And I think all these points here and these ones up ahead, where you connect ropes to go abseiling, rock climbing, things like that, over the edge. Oh, it's a stunning area. Look at this. lots of old buildings around Foggintor Quarry, the old quarry works where the workers used to live, I guess, base of operations. I'm walking along this kind of arm of land, I guess you'd call it, that stretches out away from Foggintor back towards Kings Tor. It's like raised up, it's built out of this massive pile of granite rocks that I guess came from Foggintor Quarry. If you look over the side here, you can see they're all just piled up and it's just earth across the top. And it's just this kind of narrow arm, like a natural jetty, I guess, that stretches out away from the quarry, which is back there. But it gives you these stunning views all around. I'm coming up to the end here. There's Kings Tor where we were earlier. Someone up there again. Swell Tor over that way. That's looking back to Foggintor over there. And you've got these like pens all around here. Like I say, there's lots of very old kind of man-made structures in this area. This is one of them. I don't know if this was a building or if this was like an animal pen. It's really clearly defined. It's strange how it almost looks like it's still looked after. I guess that it isn't, but you can see the moor all around it is completely different to the moor inside that pen. But I can't imagine anyone's coming out here and mowing the lawn, so it's strange how it grows differently. Look out this way, it's all very boggy down there. Wouldn't want to be walking out across that way. But that's where the car is, over there. Where those trees are, that's the Four Winds car park. And the best way to get back to it is to head back along here and pick up a trail that goes past Foggintor Quarry, all the way down there, past the farm, out to the main road, and then just follow the road down. The sun's out, blue skies, it's turned into an incredible day. It really has. It's we've just gone 11 o'clock now, I believe. Yeah, about 11:15. I'm going to start heading back to the car. Thank you very much for watching again. I can't believe that anyone watches my videos, to be honest, because I mentioned in the first video, but I only really started the channel just so I could have somewhere to store my videos and a way to remember my hikes, to look back on them whenever I can't do this at some point. And yeah, it's a nice way to kind of edit everything together into a nice little package and be able to sit back and watch, you know, a 2-3 hour hike in the space of 15-20 minutes and kind of just see the highlights, I guess. And it unlocks core memories when you do that. And yeah, I didn't think anyone would actually want to watch me hike and ramble on and stuff, but some of you do, so thank you very much. Thank you for my subscribers, thank you for everyone who comments, everyone who likes, everyone who watches. It really helps. I'm going to keep doing it because it is motivation for me to get fitter and to try to get back to the way I was before I had long COVID. And I'm slowly improving, getting there slowly, just pushing through it. So thank you again for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.